Welcome to our 5 on 5. I'm pleased to be joined by Diane Linthicum, Republican running for state senator for District 28, which includes all of Klamath County, part of Jackson. And I should actually add for our viewers, there's no Democrats running in this race, so this one's really for all the marbles. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
So your husband, Senator Dennis Linthicum, has held this seat for 8 years now. He can't run again after walkouts in the Senate. You're taking your first foray into politics. Why do you want to get involved?
Sure. Well, I think it's important for voters to understand why I am the best candidate for Senate District 28. I could describe my many years of owning and operating small businesses, my 30 years of running our family cattle ranch, or the past 8 years of working in Salem as chief of staff for Senate District 28. So I have that experience. But I'd also like to describe how my husband, Senator Dennis Linthicum, and 10 Republican senators stood for parental rights and the protection of our children from a very destructive abortion and transgender child mutilation bill that got them banned from the ballot. So it was a denial of quorum, just as a quick reminder, not necessarily what we would term a walkout. That is what you do. You don't show up on the floor, but it's a denial of quorum, which is a constitutionally protected right. But more importantly, I have pledged to continue his work to defend Oregon's moms and dads, children, our grandchildren, and frankly, Oregon's next generation, including the unborn, from the assault against family values, parental rights that's being waged by the far left Democrat majority in the legislature. I think we need a real fighter in there. Additionally, the far left seems bent on attacking our constitutionally protected First and Second Amendment rights. So I am endorsed by Oregon Firearms Federation and Oregon Right to Life, the only candidate in this race with those endorsements, which I'm very proud of. So we don't need another go along, get along candidate who will trade the people's lives, liberties, pocketbooks, and for self-reward and personal gain. What the people of Senate District 28 tell me is they want a state senator with a backbone who will stand up to Portland politicians. So I am ready to do that, prepared to stand up, continue to work for the people of Senate District 28 as I have the past 8 years.
You mentioned walkouts and denying quorum. Of course, that's what the effort is, and it's been done across the country for minority groups. So, Democrats in Texas, for example, Tennessee, not unlike what Republicans have done. Would you potentially walk out in the future if you're elected?
I would absolutely, for bills such as the egregious gun grabbing bills we've had over the past 8 years. Almost every session, there's I will just generally call it a gun grabbing bill. It's basically clamping down on our Second Amendment rights, which in my opinion should not be infringed, right? That's what the Constitution says. And I think they're egregious in ways that they are against law-abiding gun ownership versus it doesn't really have an impact on the criminal class. And so it's really an egregious assault on law-abiding citizens, law-abiding gun owners. So I would absolutely walk out, as Senator Linthicum and other Republican senators have done, to protect our Second Amendment rights and to protect the rights of parental rights. The walkout in 2019 was directly opposed to vaccine mandates. And so I am a strong proponent of medical freedom and will continue to protect those parental rights and the medical freedom of all Oregonians as well. So I think there are, when they bring egregious bills that are against our Constitution and our basic rights and freedoms, I am absolutely prepared to walk out. The Senate seat is not a Senate seat for me. This is a Senate seat to serve the people of the district and the people of Oregon overall, but especially the people of Senate District 28. They want a senator with a backbone who cares more about their rights and their values and the future of their families and their property and all of those issues much more than me caring about this Senate seat. So I'm here to serve.
Sorry for interrupting. We're running out of time. We're going to skip through our commercial break. I have one last question. Most elections are decided by voters who are 50 plus. If elected, what would you do in office to benefit them and the challenges they face?
Oh, sure. So The question I get asked most often by folks 50 and over in particular, which I am in that range as well, is what are you going to do? Can you get rid of the estate tax? Can we do something about the estate tax? It is a huge burden, and I think it is so detrimental to people either staying in Oregon or moving to Oregon as retirees, because our estate tax is pegged right at $1 million, and you can hardly own a home anymore with inflation for under $1 million in terms of your net worth. So we have proposed in the past, Senator Linthicum has proposed in the past to, best of all, eliminate the estate tax. I think that would go far in Oregon. Next would be to match the federal level, which is just over 13 million at this point. And so I am prepared to carry those bills right away in 2025, because this has to change. I think it's detrimental for Oregon overall, but individuals especially.
Diane, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today. We'll be right back.